How can you stay positive when things seem to be pretty negative around our community and around our world? Well, one way to stay positive is to seek out and find stories that are incredible human nature stories to put your life into perspective. One of my favorite stories is of Father Maximilian Kolbe, who became a saint. Now, why did the Catholic Church canonize this man to become a saint? Well, he was a Catholic priest, and during the war, he was put into a concentration camp. And while he was in this camp, one of the guards claimed that one of the other prisoners tried to escape. So in retaliation for a prisoner trying to escape, they decided that they were going to take 10 random men and kill them, put them into the starvation camp and to kill them. One of the men that was randomly chosen said, "Please don't choose me. I'm a new married man and I have small children and I hope to have a large family. And please, 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 I beg of you, don't choose me." Well, Maximilian Kolbe stepped forward and said, "I can take his place. I am not married and I have no children, so choose me instead." And they did. So they put Maximilian Kolbe into the starvation camp to try to starve these 10 men in retaliation for the escaped prisoner. Well, one by one, they started to die. Meanwhile, Maximilian Kolbe was leading them in prayer and trying to keep them calm and ministering to them. And then eventually they all died except for him. He just would not die. And so they eventually killed him. Well, years later, in fact, it was about 40 years ago this week that here's a Vatican newspaper, and this is the celebration of the canonization of now Saint Maximilian Kolbe. And look at the crowd. Look at the absolute crowd at the Vatican to celebrate this canonization. And my husband was there in Rome at the time, so he kept this newspaper, and I'm glad he did, even though it's all in French. It's a French version of L'Observateur Romano, which is the Roman newspaper. But he told me what was so fascinating about this is that the man who Maximilian Kolbe traded his life for, he was there, and he wore his prison garb, and he was there with his wife and his children and his grandchildren to show how much that another man giving his life for him, that it was not in vain. And he went on to lead a very successful life, and he wanted to show up to honor Saint Maximilian Kolbe because of the life that he had. That is just so moving. I mean, I don't expect you to do anything with this other than just to reflect on human nature stories. There are people that have done extraordinary things. There are people that have sacrificed extraordinary things for their fellow human being. So although there is some darkness in the world sometimes, there's also some really, really, really bright light. You just have to take the time to search them out. And then for the people who have helped you in any way, the best way to thank them and to honor them is to live an extraordinary life. Have an amazing Front Row Friday, everybody, and we'll see you next time.